Hi APE students, welcome to the Mark and Recapture pre-lab. You can read the background information of your lab and get a pretty good idea of why we would want to sample a population size to determine N, or the size of that population. And the fact that there's a lot of different techniques that I can use to do that depending on what species it is that I'm sampling. We are going to be using a mark and recapture technique to sample a cricket population. We have both large adult and smaller juvenile crickets in our cricket population. And we're going to use our data to calculate the N, or size of the population, using two different formulas, the Lincoln-Peterson index and the Schnauber index. For the Lincoln-Peterson index, which is what your pre-lab question calculation is about, you can see that to determine N, we are setting up a proportion where R, or the number of individuals that are recaptured the second time that have already been marked, proportional to the size of that sample population on the second day, will be equal to the number that I marked and released, proportional to the size of the original population, or N, that we're trying to determine. So you look at this and see that it's pretty easy to cross multiply or rework that equation so that in this case N is equal to 45 times 58 divided by 68, or we would estimate the size of the population to be 160. In the Schnauber index, or technique for measuring mark and recapture, the data table shows me that I have I, or time, and we're going to be doing 3 different sweeps of our cricket population. CI is the number that are caught in that particular time period. So in the first sweep, we caught 100 crickets. Obviously, it's our first sweep, so RI, the number marked, is 0. Because it's my first sweep, the number of new marks is all 100 that I caught, and there were 0 that had been previously marked. In the second round, or second timestamp, or second sweep that I do, let's say that I caught 85 crickets this time. 15 of them had already been marked, so 85 minus 15 means that I would mark new 70 of those crickets, and there were 100 marked from the previous time. In the third sweep, or timestamp number 3, I was able to catch 105 crickets. Holy cow. 25 of those were marked. I'm not going to mark any new ones since this is my third and final sweep, and the previous mark would be 170, which is the new mark plus the previous marks from round 2 added together. This is what the data table will look like for your group as you collect data in the lab. Let's talk a little bit about procedure. Each group of 4 will have one person sweeping. This is your sweep net, and you will simply go through the grassy area, sweeping along the grass to see how many crickets you can collect. 2 of the people at your lab group table will be waiting at the end of your sweep area to quickly, with a washable marker, mark your crickets. And the 4th person in your lab group will take the marked crickets and redistribute them, not just across the area that you swept, but across the entire sample area of all lab groups. And then we'll get ready for round number 2. And you can switch positions at round numbers 2 and 3.